Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. She writes a nationally syndicated column. It's read in over 150 papers nationwide. Margaret Gray, whose A Little Bird Told Me column appears every Friday morning nationally, is taking up the cause of people who are affected with paralysis, spinal injury, spinal cord injury. Christopher Reeve, as you know, the actor who suffered such a traumatic injury that left him paralyzed, I believe, from the neck down. Christopher Reeve has been very vocal in trying to cure spinal injury and spinal paralysis. And one of the ways that they're doing it, and some of the advances that they've been able to make, is in a very controversial area where they use tissue from fetuses. They use the spinal or stem cell material from fetuses, aborted fetuses. And I know that Christopher Reeve has been before Congress to talk to them about making this more available for research. On the line with us from Santa Monica is Margaret Gray to talk about that, to talk about Christopher Reeve's efforts. And and you work and you operate in the entertainment field, so you know a lot of these people, right, Margaret?
Well, Phil, unfortunately, I do know quite a few people in the entertainment business who have been affected by this kind of traumatic injury. Christopher Reeve is just one of many. Teddy Pendergrass, as you know, suffered a very severe injury.
Yes, he did.
And in the world of sport, Mike Utley of the Detroit Lions. Thank God that Reggie Brown and Dennis Byrd are still walking. You know, Reggie Brown also from the Detroit Lions, and Dennis Byrd from the New York Giants.
The New York Jets.
The New York Jets. All of these people suffer from injury, Phil, that could be very traumatic, and is not only dramatic and so debilitating, but it takes a toll.
Hold on for just a second. I got a technical malfunction here. First of all, my headphone cord came out, so if you'll pardon me. How does this happen that this gets wrapped around? Sorry, tell Ms. Gray we'll be right with her. I almost strangled myself on my headphone cord. Pardon me. Is she back on, or do you need to dial her back up? Ms. Gray, forgive me. Are you still there?
Yes, Phil. I hope you didn't strangle yourself.
No, I didn't do that. I just had a problem. Okay, so a lot of people in entertainment.
We work in the entertainment industry, Phil. I do, you do. I am a journalist, and I do a lot of reviewing and covering of different stories. Christopher Reeve is one of our great performers. When he was injured, and that was in a horseback riding accident back in 1994, one of the brightest lights in entertainment, I think, was compromised. Mr. Reeve now is before Congress to talk about this fetal tissue issue where spinal cord cells from fetuses can be used to replicate healthy cells in people who have been damaged, who've had spinal cord injury.
So let me get this, so I know what we're talking about. This spinal cord tissue that is used from fetuses is healthy, it's young, and it can regenerate itself to the point where it might cure spinal paralysis and spinal cord injury in other people.
That is absolutely correct, Phil, and it is a very, very exciting and wonderful development. Christopher Reeve has been in Washington. Christopher has talked to Congress, and we are really hoping that in the future, Christopher Reeve, Teddy Pendergrass, other people in the world of entertainment who have suffered these terrible injuries will have this fetal tissue from the spinal cord made available to them.
Now, I know that you're going to be part of a benefit which is coming up on, I think, in the middle of May. Do we have the date yet?
We don't have a date settled, Phil. It will be in May.
All right, and this is going to basically be a benefit to try to raise money for people who are affected by spinal cord injuries, correct?
Absolutely, Phil. Fetal Position 2000 is something that we have worked on for a long time, and we will have a cotillion dance. We will have a celebrity auction. I am going to be singing some Rodgers and Hammerstein music. We're very, very excited, Phil.
So you haven't sung in a long time, have you?
I haven't sung professionally, Phil, in 30 years, so I'm really going to be enjoying that. And we'll be raising money, Phil, to try to help these poor women, lower middle class women who cannot possibly afford to have another baby, to give them the means for self-empowerment, give them the means for controlling their family, and help them get the abortions that they need. We can then take those fetuses, we can get them over to the hospital where Christopher Reeve has a lot of his therapy, where he does his therapy.
Right.
And begin to inject that fetal tissue into his neck or whatever you do. But we really have to get the fetal tissue for Christopher Reeve to use.
Okay, so when you have your cotillion, and where's this going to be?
Yes, Fetal Position 2000 will be at the Walter K. Clarkson Center in Santa Monica. We will have a Cotillion Awards banquet. I'll be doing a few numbers from Rogers and Hammerstein. There'll be a celebrity auction, and we will be dancing. Phil, I'll dance till my ass gives out, till about 2 a.m. It's really going to be a lot of fun.
All right, to raise money to help poor women get abortions.
There are a lot of women who need abortions. They cannot afford it. They cannot control their families. Their fertility and controlling their fertility is difficult for them because they cannot afford these abortions. If we can help fund their abortions.
And then you take the fetus that's been aborted, you get it over to the hospital where Christopher Reeve is, and begin to use this fetal spinal cord tissue to regenerate healthy cells in him.
Yes, absolutely, Phil. By the way, Phil, at our celebrity auction, we have obtained Vic Morrow's necktie, and we will be, I'm very excited. We have a lot of great...
This is, what is this?
Vic Morrow's necktie is just an example of a lot of the things that we will be auctioning off.
All right, Margaret Gray is with us, so that's a celebrity auction of a lot of celebrity items.
That's correct.
And one of them is Vic Morrow's necktie. So
it was the one he was wearing when...
When he was killed?
Yes. Yes, it is. But it's been dry cleaned, and I think it's going to be a tremendous... We're there to raise money for women, to empower women, to give them the monetary means to have these abortions so that we can get that spinal cord tissue into a cooler of some kind, an Igloo, a Coleman, get it into an Avis Rent-A-Car, and get it over to Christopher Reeve's hospital.
1-800-449-8686. We're talking with Margaret Gray about spinal cord tissue research. They have found that fetuses with spinal cord tissue that is injected or is used in people who've been subjected to spinal paralysis can help them. But you have to have fetuses to do it. And so therefore, I guess you got to have abortions?
Well, Phil, we do perform abortions in this country. There are literally thousands performed every year.
But if you're aborting fetuses, these are very small, right?
You only need spinal cord tissue that is about as large as a dot on a paper. So let's say a woman aborts at 6 weeks. Perfect. Let's say a woman aborts at 2 months. All the better. So it really doesn't...
You don't need that much.
You don't need that much.
All right, I've heard you mentioning Christopher Reeve here, saying that let's have this benefit, let's get the spinal cord tissue to Christopher Reeve. What about other people?
Well, Kirk Douglas is someone who would benefit from this. By the way, Phil, can I...
No, but I was talking about regular people.
Well, I wanted to make a point, though, about Michael J. Fox, because I made this point on your show. Michael J. Fox, note to you, Michael, you are really behaving. Do you know that Christopher Reeve would give his left arm to have Parkinson's disease? He'd love to be shaking like that. You complain about having Parkinson's. Do you want to trade places with Christopher Reeve? Be happy that your arms are waving all over the place. Be happy that you...
Well, he's got a different hill to climb, though.
No. What I'm saying is Michael J. Fox could be shaking wildly or he could be sitting in a chair. I know Christopher Reeve, if he was given the chance, would much rather not be able to hold a coffee cup because his hands are shaking so wildly, then not even move at all. That's all I'm saying.
All right. We're not here to single out Michael J. Fox.
No, we are not, Phil. I'm saying the people who could benefit from this, Kirk Douglas, Christopher Reeve, David Duchovny, these are...
Is he paralyzed?
I don't know. He looks like he's paralyzed. I don't know.
He is not. He doesn't have that kind of illness.
All right. Well, I'm making a joke, but he looks like he could use it, doesn't he? Because with every passing season on X-Files, he looks like he's got a pole hammered up there so far that...
All right, let's stop with the jokes. And
well, really, Phil, what we're saying...
No, but what I want to know is, what about the people who are not celebrities?
Yes, the people who are not celebrities, Phil, what we're talking about is getting them fetal tissue that they can use. I would suggest that they contact doctors, they contact research hospitals, and they contact people they know who may be contemplating an abortion. They can contract for that fetal tissue, and...
So your benefit is not to help them?
Really, right now, Phil, we're concentrating on Christopher. We want to get him back on his feet. The theme of Fetal Position 2000, You'll Never Walk Alone, is to get Christopher back on his feet.
So right now you are raising money to pay for the abortions of poor women so you can use that fetal tissue only to get Christopher Reeve walking?
Right now, yeah. Him and Kirk Douglas, yes.
Kirk Douglas can walk.
Well, whatever is wrong with his face, all I'm saying... What?
That was a stroke, okay, that he had.
I'm very, very sorry.
Yeah, that was a stroke that he had. He can walk fine, okay? Hold the line, Margaret. Phil Hendrie Show, our number 1-800-449-8686. Fetal tissue used to help regenerate the cells of spinal paralysis, spinal cord injury victims. I'm sure you've heard of this. They can take stem tissue, stem cells from a fetus, and utilize them to recreate healthy cells in the victim of spinal paralysis. However, they have to use the fetal cell, and that means using aborted fetuses. Margaret Gray is with us. They want to raise enough money where they can get abortions for poor women and then get the stem cell tissue over to Christopher Reeves at his hospital so he can walk again. The name of the function they're going to be having next month, Fetal Position 2000, Walk Like a Man. And we're going to get back to talk with her about this because apparently this cotillion that they're having, this benefit, is only to benefit Christopher Reeve. And people who are not celebrities have got to go out and find their own fetuses. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. Margaret Gray is with us. Clarify, we've had some complaints. Margaret is talking to us about spinal cord injury and how it can be helped, perhaps, using the spinal cord tissue of aborted fetuses. They're having a benefit, Fetal Position 2000, Walk Like a Man. It'll be next month at the William Clarkson Center in Santa Monica. Now, please explain, though, for people who are not clear, you made a comment about Michael J. Fox and how Christopher Reeve would much rather have Parkinson's because at least he's moving. Right.
Phil, all I'm saying is, if you were to ask Christopher Reeve, he'd much rather have his arms shaking from Parkinson's than blow into a straw for the rest of his life. That's all I'm saying.
All right, okay, just...
I'm not trying to put down Michael J. Fox. I am not saying anything other than Christopher Reeve would rather be shaking so hard he's spilling coffee on people, excuse me, than have paralysis. What about you?
What about me, what?
Would you rather be shaking so violently you're spilling wine on people at a party or sitting in the corner in a chair blowing into a straw? Quick, what's your answer? Quick. Quick, what is your answer?
I guess I'd rather have Parkinson's than be paralyzed.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, 1-800-449-8686, San Antonio on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, hi.
Hi, my name is Joyce, and I'm from
Hi,
San
Joyce.
Antonio, Texas.
Yes, ma'am, how are you doing?
I'm fine up until I listen to this segment of your show, and I'm about ready just to come right unglued. I cannot believe that this woman is trying to promote abortion.
Wait a second. I am a mother.
Babies.
I am a mother of 3 boys.
Hey, wait.
All right.
I am the mother of 5 children, and
That
I
doesn't
have
make you better than
grandchildren.
me. That doesn't make you better than
Which one
me.
of your children would you like to sacrifice for Christopher Reeves?
My
That's
children
what I'd
are
like
not
to know.
fetuses. My children
Let's
were born.
sacrifice one
I'm
of your
talking about.
children.
No,
You
what?
are killing babies,
No,
and you are advocating
They
it.
are fetuses.
You are a killer. You are a killer.
To
and
help
you
Christopher
belong
Reeve
in
walk
jail.
again. To help Christopher Reeve walk again. I'm a
I
killer.
don't care about Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves, God gave Christopher Reeves this burden. He did not give you
Oh,
the
God
right
gave
to
him
raise
this
money
burden.
to kill babies. You
Did you-
are a baby killer.
So, in other words, you hate Christopher Reeve because he's a
I
celebrity.
have nothing to do with Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves lived a good life. He had a tragedy based on a poor judgment of riding horses, and I don't think
that's
should
the
be going
case.
around and trying to trying to create people to kill babies to save Christopher Reeves.
All
How many
I'm
babies
saying,
do
darling,
you
is
want
there
to
are
kill?
women out. Can I finish it? Let's not
How
be
many
so.
babies do
Let's
you
not
want
be
to
so
kill?
emotional. Let me explain myself.
How many babies do you
are
want
sc-
to kill,
you are
ma'am?
screaming
How
and
many?
yelling like so many of these right-wing Christians. You're out of
Right-wing
control.
Christian, you better believe
You're
that you
out of
are
control.
Out of control.
You're really out of control, and you need
You
a shot of
are
Demerol.
out of control, ma'am.
All right, now number
You-
one.
All right, let her finish her point. You're not going to get anywhere by screaming over people. Let her finish her point, ma'am. And then you...
Well, Phil, these Christians, you can't talk to them.
Don't say that. Let the woman hear what you have to say. Then we'll let her respond, okay?
All I'm saying is this. These are women who are going to have abortions anyway. I'm giving them the money so we can get the fetal tissue over to Christopher Reeve so he can walk and be in a Superman movie again because we loved him in that. And we loved him in Sleuth. And we loved him in Somewhere in Time. Now, my children are grown and developed. They're already created. They're not some shrimp cocktail floating around in a woman's stomach. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, ma'am.
This woman is absolutely
Oh, here we go with
crazy.
your emotionalism again. Can't
She
you address
is- you
one
know what?
intellectual
You know what really
point?
makes me sad about this? Is there are people like this woman walking around wanting to sound
And
so
there are
intellectual.
people
Listen,
like
can
you.
I talk?
Oh, I see. You were
listened to her
jumping
talk,
all over
Bill.
me.
All right, hold
Bill,
on.
can I talk?
Let the lady in San Antonio finish. She allowed you to
Right.
speak.
I listened to her. Now it's
Oh,
my turn.
God. I
And
know
I want to
Christopher
talk
Reeve.
without her interrupting me.
I know David Duchovny.
I don't care who you know. I want to talk. It's my turn.
I will tell you this
Now,
much, okay?
I
If you met David
absolutely-
Duchovny, you'd
See,
lubricate.
She absolutely
You
doesn't
would
want to listen.
lubricate.
All right, listen to what the woman's saying and quit talking so crudely.
She says it's no big deal knowing David Duchovny. If she met David Duchovny, who is one of the most
Listen.
sexy men, she'd lube up and...
Will you please have some decency?
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
Go
I
ahead, ma'am.
appreciate it.
Go ahead.
The thing that really appalls me is that there are people like this that talk so intellectually and so precisely and try to convince people that it is all right to go in and have an abortion. I want to know where this woman is in 3 to 5 years when that mother who gave up that child is in trauma because she committed a sin, really, and I don't care what this woman calls it.
Please.
I'm telling you
I
right
had
now,
3
that is
abortions.
a live baby.
I've had
That-
3 abortions, and
I
I never
wouldn't
felt
brag
one.
about it, let me tell you.
I've never had one day of
Well,
remorse.
let's do
You're
this.
kidding.
I have
No,
a
I'm not.
suggestion. I have a suggestion.
Yes.
On that woman's next firstborn grandchild, I would like to see her child, her son or daughter, have that baby aborted and give that cell tissue to Christopher Reeve. She loves him so much and thinks he's such a special part of this world. I would like to know.
Did you see Superman? Because I can't
Could
believe.
I care about Superman? Could I care? He is only a person. This child,
And
your
this child is
child
only a person. Why do you
This
give them
child,
more
you-
credit
You
than
may
Christopher
have
Reeve?
killed several Supermans by trying to give babies
Newsflash.
women abortions.
Newsflash, Superman
For
is a
one
ficticious
person.
character. Newsflash, Superman's fictitious. It was a movie.
Of course we
Okay.
have. And
Newsflash.
Don't be
Do I
sarcastic. The
care?
woman knows, okay? Now, we have to take a break. I thank you very much, ma'am,
Thanks,
for your call.
Bill.
Thank you
Thanks.
for your ignorant call. And
Shut up, please. Bill Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686, The Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686. Margaret Gray is with us. Fetal Position 2000, Walk Like a Man, next month at the Walter Clarkson Center in Santa Monica, where they're going to be raising money for women who need abortions and using the fetal tissue from those abortions to regenerate healthy spinal column cells. In Christopher Reeve, is he the only one? Or
there is Kirk Douglas, Phil. There is David Duchovny.
Kirk Douglas doesn't have paralysis, okay? But you were mentioning, Mike, Kirk Douglas had a stroke.
Yes, Kirk Douglas had a stroke, but he just doesn't, to me, he looks as if he could use, he doesn't look as if he moves. And
well, he does move, but you were talking about Teddy Pendergrass and...
Teddy Pendergrass and a lot of people, Phil. We are going to be there next month at the Walter Clarkson Center. And for the women who benefit from the money that we raise, who can have a desperately needed abortion and can get on with controlling their own fertility, we will give them plaques that say that the fetal tissue from my fetus's spinal cord was used to help Christopher Reeve walk again. And I think, Phil, it's a beautiful statement that we'll be able to give these women plaques saying, I helped Christopher Reeve walk. And for the other people who are there, we'll be dancing till our rear ends give out. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful night. And
you mentioned that you wanted to sing. You see, a lot of the stuff we're talking about here...
I do want to sing, yes.
A lot of the stuff we're talking about here, though, having to do with abortions and, I mean...
Well, right now, Phil, in Washington, I know it's an ugly subject, but we are encouraging partial birth abortions. And
oh, my God, that is against the law.
We are encouraging it, Phil, because the fetus is more developed. You can use more of the spinal cord. And
good God.
What? Because you want to be dramatic?
Well, what? I mean, partial birth, you said all you need is a little bit of this so-called tissue. Why a partial birth?
Phil, a pair of pruning shears and it's done. All you...
Good God!
Listen to the drama.
Good God! Pruning shears.
Listen to your little dramatic talk show host.
Did you hear what you just said? Partial birth abortion, a pair of pruning shears, and it's done.
You know, Phil, your drama...
No, my drama. Forget about my drama. Did you hear what you just said?
I really find your dramatics off-putting.
You said you're encouraging Congress to pass laws for partial birth abortions because what the hell, some pruning shears and it's over.
Well, Phil, I don't know if you're familiar with the technique in partial birth abortions because...
I don't care about the technique.
All you need are pruning shears, and if you want a hanger...
I don't need the hanger, the pruning shears. Are you going to give out hangers at your big memorial?
You're really, really very crude, aren't you?
I'm crude. You mentioned...
You really don't understand women, do you? You really don't get it about women, do you? You really don't. You want to play it high and mighty. You want to have it both ways. You want to raise money for Christopher Reeves so he'll walk again, so you can go out and see Superman 6 or 7, but you don't want to do the hard work.
Pruning shears.
Do you know the money that we made, Phil, for charity over the last Christmas holiday? We sold 24-karat gold coat hangers for women who donated over $10,000.
What do you mean coat hangers?
These memorialize the early abortion devices. And
oh, my God.
Oh, Phil, will you stop, please?
What do you mean 24-karat gold coat hangers?
Will you stop and listen to yourself?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take another phone call because I'm not a woman, so I guess I don't understand.
You don't. That is the first intelligent thing you've said.
Is it Catula or Catola?
Catula.
Catula, you're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Okay, I'd like to make a few comments. If Miss Gray can keep her mouth shut, I'll try.
If you're... Oh, we start off being rude, is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that?
Because I think that...
What have I done to you?
You have misportrayed women so horribly. Okay, I'm going to make my comments. You know, even in the news, they're always making something synthetic. You don't have to take a fetus. A fetus is a child. It turns into a child, and it is a child by God.
It is shrimp
and
cocktail
therefore,
at that level. Shrimp
these
cocktail.
women should have more money to take birth control pills or quit having sex and try some abstinence instead of having an unwanted child when there are so many people in this world. I'm going to finish, Miss Ray. It gives me my time. I'll give you yours.
How does that help Christopher Reeve? Tell me.
Does Christopher Reeves know about this? Is he for this?
He wants fetal tissue to use for
He knows that this is going on, and he wants to be a part of this.
I think
he's a very caring man,
if
and
I could just
jump, he would want to take
I don't think he's aware of your benefit, is he, Margaret?
He's not aware of every benefit that goes on.
Is he aware of your benefit per se? Exactly.
I do not know.
All right, is he endorsing it?
That he would take
I will tell you that Christopher Reeve was in Washington, D.C. He was in Washington, D.C., campaigning, I believe, and I could be wrong, for fetal tissue so he can inject it into his neck and walk.
Well, I think
what do you mean injected in?
Use birth control, and
why?
If they want to have a baby, because if you want to play, by golly, you better pay the piper, honey. And if you want to play, that's what you're going to do. And there's people that'll take care of that baby even if you don't want it.
Let me ask you something. Are you pregnant?
No, I'm not pregnant. I've had two kids. I'm 52 years old. I've got a 25-year-old daughter, and she's never been pregnant, and she hasn't had an abortion either.
To commemorate the women's movement, you wouldn't want to own a 24-karat gold coat hanger.
No, I wouldn't. I guarantee you.
You don't care what women have gone through, do you?
Why would she
want? Women make their own choices. So do men. People make their own choices. That God gave us a will.
Why don't you sell some pruning shears too, Margaret, so you can get that partial birth abortion thing?
Plated.
Aren't you crude?
No, you are the crudest woman I have ever heard. I have never called into a talk show in my life,
Madam,
but I was coming through town, and I was so appalled that I could not believe it.
Because I stand up for Christopher Reeve, who can't stand up.
No, you stand up for the most horrible, atrocious things in this world, woman. That's what you stand up for.
I'm talking about helping spinal cord injury victims walk
again. You know, one of these days they'll come up with a synthetic spinal cord stuff that'll help people too, by golly, and they won't have to take it from a human being.
And in the meantime, Christopher Reeve blows through a straw.
In the meantime, God gave him a good family, and he's got a whole lot more than a lot of people have, especially those fetuses that are being aborted.
Seriously, you're a mother. Are you a mother?
You dadgum right, I'm a mother.
I'm a mother, too. Let me ask you a question seriously. What would be wrong if your daughter did get, and I'm saying God forbid, if your daughter got knocked up and she didn't want the child, what would be wrong with donating the fetus to Christopher Reeve?
Because she wouldn't give up a God-given child.
Well, what if she said she wanted to because she knew Christopher Reeve?
Well, I would try my best to talk her out of it, and I'd raise that kid myself.
Oh, my God, you'd talk her out of it, wouldn't you? You'd let Christopher Reeve blow through a straw. You would, wouldn't you?
Yes, ma'am, but like I said, he's got a loving family.
So
one of these
what
days,
if he blows through a straw?
They're going to come up with something that's going to take care of Christopher Reeve.
What is up with you and your blowing through a straw Christopher Reeve thing? So what if he... I'm sorry the man's been injured. It's a terrible thing. My God, I can only imagine being paralyzed from the neck down, okay? What has this got to do with you giving out pruning shears for partial birth abortions?
Phil, I never said I'd...
The woman is a complete fool, and I'm getting off the phone. Thank you very much.
I never said I'd give out pruning shears for partial birth abortions. That is an absolute slanderous lie.
You said you'd give out coat hangers?
To commemorate the women's movement, yes.
You know something, with all due respect to Christopher Reeve, I liked Superman, I liked Sleuth, and that's about all I liked from his career.
And that's about the extent of your taste and your knowledge of acting and what he has contributed artistically to our community. Did you see Rear Window?
His version of it?
Yes.
I thought it was very weak.
Oh, my God, you are ignorant, aren't you? You don't know anything about the arts.
I know what I like, and I thought The Rear Window, directed by Christopher Reeve, with all due respect, sucked on ice. I thought it was lame, and I liked the Jimmy Stewart one, okay?
A man sits in a wheelchair, blowing into a straw, and he hears what you're saying about him.
Christopher, if you're out there, man, I've seen Superman, I've seen great... You're a great...
That's not what you said. Now you're backpedaling.
I didn't want to hurt the man's feelings, but I'm not a big fan of his. So what? Fort Pierce on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Yes, hi.
Yes, sir.
My name is Robbie. I'm thinking about how many children would have to lose their life and breath just so one man could have a little comfort. He has his life and breath on him now.
A little comfort? Walking?
Yes, a little comfort. And we're taking the life of children. The life of children, potential children, as you call them.
Technically, no, we are.
Just so one man could have comfort. He has his life. He has his breath. I mean, I don't think
but he can't walk.
Taking potential actors and actresses
do a
in
movie
order
if you can't walk. You can't do a movie if you can't walk. What are you talking about?
Well, of course not. You can't. But he has done so many movies. Why not give other children the chance to make their movies also and have the same great fame that Christopher Reeves has?
You're talking about life and comfort. Do you think crapping in a bag is comfortable?
No, I do not.
Okay, then he doesn't have comfort, does he?
Of course not.
Well,
but
then why
I'm
did
sure
you say he did have
shears in the back of the neck of a child is not comfortable either.
Pruning shears?
That's exactly what you stated, correct?
On partial birth abortions, yes.
Yes, okay. This is a child who is half-born, and you're sticking pruning shears and taking that life from that child, and that is not comfortable?
Well, the kid's not completely made yet.
I believe that the whole brunt of this conversation you're having now and the money you're raising is just to give abortions to these women who normally would not have them if they did not have the money.
No, I want to raise money for our cotillion because Christopher Reeve, he's a great actor.
Well, I agree
and we
he's a great actor.
have to raise money for actors when they ask us to, don't we?
Well, yes, but I agree he's a great actor.
No, we don't.
I beg your pardon, we don't?
No, we don't. Are you there, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Phil, can I get to my song?
Well, what do you want to sing a song about?
I want to give them an example of what I'm going to be doing at the cotillion in the month of May for Christopher Reeve. And
all right, please go ahead and do your song.
This is Rodgers and Hammerstein. And think of the meaning of this, sir. You'll never walk alone. When you walk through a storm, keep your chin up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. You'll be good, Christopher. At the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind. Christopher, you will walk someday. Walk on through the rain, though your dream...
Okay, I can't stand it.
I beg your pardon?
I can't stand it any longer.
What?
It was off key.
Was it off key, sir?
Yes, very.
Well, you two are full of crap. What do you think of that?
Well, I agree.
Because
well,
your
that
mind, maybe.
Walk on through the...
I don't need to hear it any longer.
And you never walk alone?
I don't want to hear it.
You never walk alone?
Fine. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. I mentioned last hour some of the programmers that I've spoken with, and then we have a woman on who is so in love with Christopher Reeve that she wants you to run right out and have an abortion so that they can use the fetus's spinal cellular material to regenerate Christopher Reeve's spinal cord. And no wonder. Is it any freaking wonder why I'm ready to fire my producer, Mike Schaefer, for booking guests like that? For booking a guest like that. 1-800-449-8686, The Phil Hendrie Show. Our website, philhendrieshow.com. If you visit there, you can pick up a copy of the Best of the Phil Hendrie Show CD. And that's the Best of the Phil Hendrie Show 99 CD. Communism is Neat. We've made $128,000 through your very, 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 very generous donation to My Friend's Place, which is a resource center for homeless and runaway kids in Hollywood. And I can't thank you enough for your generosity. That's a lot of money that you've put together for those guys. And last year, at $170,000 last year, that's 270, another 25, over $300,000. And then you put together another 75 that we made the first year, close to $400,000 we've made in 3 years for My Friend's Place. We're very, very, very thankful to all of you guys. A suspected sex offender led police on a dramatic car chase across the Golden Gate Bridge on Wednesday before abandoning his vehicle and leaping from the famous span, apparently to his death. The suspect, Brian Alexander Ward, a 39-year-old gardener, was under surveillance by police when he arrived at work in Marin County, north of San Francisco, on Wednesday morning. The police said Ward had been accused of molesting his employer's 4-year-old son and was the subject of an arrest warrant with a $1 million bail. He came back to the victim's family house and saw us, said one of the police officers there, and that's when he took off. The suspect led police on a high-speed chase towards San Francisco and was about halfway across the Golden Gate Bridge when he suddenly swerved into oncoming traffic, abandoned his car, climbed over a retaining barrier, and jumped. Police originally thought that Ward might have eluded capture by hiding in the catwalk underneath the bridge, but after a search of the area and a witness videotape of the incident, they concluded that he had plunged 220 feet to his death. It would be very unusual for someone to survive that jump, said police. They scoured the area for hours. They couldn't find the guy. The possibility of a person surviving the initial incident is very slim, according to Coast Guard officials. A large percentage of people, when they drown, sink right to the bottom. Here's an argument that Mike and I had. Well, we didn't have an argument. Mike and I didn't have this argument. Melissa didn't agree with us. I said, well, you throw the body in the water, and it's going to float, isn't it? And Melissa said, why? Well, aren't there gases and things that keeps the body floating? And she said, no, it's going to get waterlogged. Then it becomes as heavy as the water itself and will sort of just sink. And then Mike and I come up with the real genius line, not all the cop shows we've watched. And then Mike adds, every Sopranos I've ever seen, they cut the body open and weight it down with rocks. Why is that? Because bodies float. Well, what do we know what we're talking about watching television? There's only one thing that I've seen on TV that I could reasonably use, and that is put your hands on top of your head and spread. I figure that works. So if a guy ever busts into my house and I go get my Beretta, I'm going to have him put his hands on his head and spread his legs because I figure the cat can't move. Oh, you're going to shoot him? Oh, okay. Craig says I should shoot the guy. All right, well. Let's say the guy, I don't have to shoot him. I'll say, well, okay, I'll shoot him. But where should I shoot him, see? I don't got to get nothing from TV other than put your hands on your head and lay on the ground and spread. And then I'll think what I want to do. I might put my gun away and, I know, shoot him in the knee. Yes, there you go, Craig. That's what I learned that watching In the Name of the Father. Tell you right now, you come around here, you messing up the IRA, okay, British soldier. Put the gun right up to the kneecap, blow his knee. Okay. But you don't cut him open and weight him down with freaking rocks. I don't care how many damn, whatever the hell it is that you've seen. But somehow they sink. I think Melissa's got the right one. The body gets waterlogged, it sinks right down to the thing. Because they couldn't find this guy. He was freshly jumped into the water. He had just jumped. They couldn't find him. I'll bet you when he hit, because you're talking about 220 feet up. When you jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, man, it's got to be like cement when you hit that water. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have ever been to the Golden Gate Bridge. I have. I've stood it. I've walked across it. If anybody would know whether a body sinks or not, it would be Melissa Morgan, our writer. But unfortunately, Melissa took off. She's not here right now. Because she makes a specialty out of that kind of macabre information. And she killed her ex-husband. But, yeah, anyway, this guy sunk. They can't find him. So anybody sees this guy Ward turn up, if you'll pardon the expression, you might tell him to show her. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686.